Welcome to Hang Out with Me. I'm your host, Anastasia Fishner, and today we'll be deliberating on relationship questions. So, wake up, stand up, hop in, and let's have fun. Remember, today I'm giving you also the opportunity to call in and make your contributions. What do you think are the necessary questions to ask your spouse? What do you think are the necessary questions to ask your partner? Today we'll be deliberating on them. I'm your host, Anastasia Fishner. Welcome to Hang Out with Me.
At the foot of the
Let me know where
cross,
where
grace and
and please
suffering,
help us to share as you join. I'm trying to see
you
some
have
lights
shown me your love
I think I'm already
through
live
the judgment
Sorry
you see,
for the technical issues
and
here.
you've won my heart.
Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me,
Yes,
yes,
you've
I can
won
hear you.
my heart.
Let's know where you're watching from. Welcome.
Now I can trade these ashes in for beauty, and wear forgiveness like a
Please
crown,
help me to share. Share. Thank you.
coming to kiss the feet of mercy.
So, welcome to Hang Out with Me. I believe we're now live on YouTube and also on Facebook. Let me know where you're watching from and please help us to share. Today we'll be talking about relationship questions. What are the questions you think you can ask your spouse? What are the questions you think you can ask your partner? Because questions actually bring out the satisfaction in one's partner. Some of you want to know why some marriages last and why others don't. It depends on what you can bring out of a man, or it depends on what you can bring out of a woman. So, as a person going into a relationship, there's a need for you to know what to ask your spouse, to know some characters about your spouse. Like the scripture says, ask and it shall be given unto you. So the best time to actually get to know your spouse or get to know the rudiments of your spouse is by dating time, when you have to ask him or her questions. And know, and by so doing, you look for a time that is relaxing, that your spouse will not be able to deny answering your questions. Like, relationship is actually a journey. And if relationship is a journey, then there's no need for you to rush, because love life is a journey life. So it's a journey that it's like a pilgrimage that you have to encounter each day and day. And for you to do that, you know that you don't need to put pressure on your spouses to give you answers to the questions that you're asking him or her. So your excellent spirit or your intelligent mind will let you know the right time that suits the time, the right actually time to actually ask questions. Questions that will be answered. So today I will be opening up my line, talking about questions. What do you think should be asked, and what do you think shouldn't be asked? Now, my line, the line to call is plus 491-7277-20784. That's the number to call if you'd like to contribute. You can WhatsApp call the number and join the show. Welcome. So, talking about relationships and the questions. I want us to know that for us to discover your partner's satisfaction, you have to ask questions like asking your partner, what is he or she thankful of? Because in one's thankfulness, satisfaction is built. If you see a man that is thankful, ask him what is thankful about. Ask him what is where is joy, where the joy is coming from, because the joy that comes from thankfulness is like an everlasting joy. So a man, for you to know the character of your man, ask your man what he or she, I mean, ask your man what he is thankful of. Ask him what is grateful for. These are two powerful words. What is thankful of and what is grateful of. When a man begins to express what is grateful of, it will help you to understand where the man is coming from. And from there, you can actually learn the man's satisfaction. Also, a woman, ask and it shall be given unto you. So many relationships are not working out fine today because it's not because of the characters alone, but because people do not ask. You do not ask. Then how can you receive when you do not ask? So there's a need for us to ask. Ask our partners questions. And ask. Ask questions that will ask questions that will help you unravel the inner intentions of your spouses. From there, you begin to know if you really want to go in a relationship with a person, if you really want to spend your entirety with a person, if you want to spend your life with a person. It begins with the questions. It begins with the responses to the questions. So if you want to call in, you can call in and contribute. And the number to call is on the screen. It's plus 49172 7720 That's the number to call and contribute. And we're talking about what are the questions you should ask your spouse. And I just deliberated on one, and that is for you to ask what he or she is thankful of and what he or she is grateful for. And those things are the things that will bring satisfaction to his life. I mean, the things that brought satisfaction to his or her life. And when a man begins to share those stuffs with you, you know that the innermost part of that man's orientation is being also opened. So, as a smart woman, you can find out more about your spouse by asking him intelligent questions. And also, as a smart man, you can actually find out more about your spouse by words, letting your spouse know the innermost part of your thankfulness, of your gratefulness, of your satisfaction. So that's number one. And another one is this: for you to discover the what encompass the mind of your spouse is by you asking questions that has to do with his memories. Yes, ask questions that has to do with his life events. You can ask him about his most cherished life event, his most cherished life moment. You know, when there are some questions that springs out the character of a man. From there, you begin to know the kind of person he is. From there, you begin to know where he has been to, what he has been to, and what he's up to. Because if you don't know what he's up to, how will you be able to stay with him in one room as a man and husband and wife? How will you be able to stay in one place together? How do you want to build family together? Since there is a need for you to know all these things about the man, because that we also help you to know how the man handles the situation. I mean, situation that concerns your relationship, that will help you to know how the man is going to handle it, how he has handled it in the past. And when you find out that the way he or she has handled it in the past is not palatable, then that's when you come in as a smart personality to chip in your principles. Remember, I told you in a relationship, there should be principle. In a relationship, you should have your personal principles. So, how will you be able to chip in that? You chip in that in the place of your courtship. when you're cutting with the man and you ask questions, and the responses the man is giving you, if it's in combination, or if it suits your principles, then that would even help you to know that maybe you and the person, we are like minds. You're like minds, minds, so that will help you to find out that maybe you and the person are like minds. And if you're like minds, that will help you also. That will help you also to know where you're going to in the relationship. So welcome everyone that has joined. I'm sorry for the technical issues before, and if you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me, and if it's loud and clear. Welcome to hang out with me. Today we're talking about relationship questions. What do you think should be asked? Why courtship? What are the questions you feel you should ask your spouse? And how do you unravel the inner hidden qualities in your man, and inner hidden qualities in a woman? And I would say one of the ways to unravel them is by asking intelligent questions. Welcome in his presence. Welcome, Hasanatu. And it says, bless you, Apostle. Bless you, ma'am. Welcome. Thanks for joining and thanks for sharing. Blessings. So today we're talking about relationship questions. What are the questions you feel you can ask? And the number to call is on the screen. The number to call, I put the number to call on the screen. The number to call is on the screen. That's plus 491-7277-20784. You can call me direct if you want, but or you can WhatsApp call. Now you can WhatsApp call to share your relationship questions. What do you think is applicable? What are the relationship questions you feel that is necessary to ask in a relationship that is meant to last? The number to call is on the screen. So talking about this point, or talking about these relationship questions, another one is you have to discover your spouses by asking them questions that has to do with their childhood. Because so many spouses that they are past, they are still living in the past, so when you ask them questions about their past, the way they react to it, the way they respond to it, will let you know, or will help you to know if they have really conquered their past. Because so many relationships actually fail because the partners involved, they did not conquer their past. They're still living in the past. They're still living in the torments they have in the past. They're still living in the torture, in the rejection that they had in the past. So because of their past relationship, the things they went through then, so when, if you are not able to walk your partner into the real realm, you might be living with a man or a woman, and he or she is still living in the past. So there's a need for you to make sure that your partner is in the same realm with you, and for your partner to be in the same realm with you, that is the only place both of you can work together in one love without fear or trembling. That's the only place you'll be ready to love yourself, show up yourself, fling show yourself, love up everywhere you go. You're like love birds, and it starts with you sharing your past. It starts with you sharing your past memories, and when you see that the past events of your spouse, if when you find out that your spouse past event is still, your spouse is still traumatic with his or her past event, then there's a need for you to help. There's a need for you to go for counseling, to seek help. But how will you find out? How will you know that if you did not ask question? That's why relationship question is very, very important. Meet a man, I don't care the first day of meeting a man, your first going out. The man is interested with you anyway. And the lady is and if the man is interested with you, or the lady is interested with you, or even if the lady is not interested with you, there's a question that you need to ask that will make the person get to know that, oh, this guy is really serious with me. So as a man longing to hook up with a woman, you know that the man is always there to give you whatever you want, because he wants your attention, he wants your time. So this kind of a man is a man that you should actually ask beautiful questions. And one of the beautiful questions that brings satisfaction is asking the woman or the man about his or her parents. It's very important. Asking questions about your parent. Ask them, even if their parents are dead, even if it's gonna bring like an emotional, oh my parents, I lost my parent. It doesn't really matter. You share their sorrows with them and move on, and begin to ask if they never lived or grow up with their parents, because some people they have parents but they never lived with their parents. They grew up with caretakers. Ask them questions about their caretakers, and then not really about their caretakers alone. Ask them questions also about their peers. How was their life in the secondary school? How was their life in the primary school like? How was their life in the university days like? There's a beautiful atmosphere of sharing what you've been through and what you want to achieve. And while doing that, relationship will be more beautiful. Yes, relationship will be more beautiful if you get to know your spouse's innermost being, innermost character, and questions. I tell you, questions actually bring out questions actually bring out the innermost character of a man or a woman. No matter how deceitful the heart is, there's always a place where question can um, bring light to. So questions are like a torchlight that points to the innermost parts of the heart, because every aspiring man or woman wants to give you the best answer. And it could be that some people might lie to fit the the situation, but I tell you, when you ask constructive questions, people cannot you can actually identify when they are lying to you. So ask questions. Ask your spouse's question. Don't say no until we get married. No, ask him questions. I ask my husband everything that I know about. Ask him. And today I'm sharing more you can ask. Nobody even shared to me, apart from the ones I asked from my pastors then and all that. But so there is a need for us to ask. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. So you ask about his peers, ask about his background, and you discover memories of his life by also asking him about his embarrassing moments. What are his embarrassing moments? What are her embarrassing moments? Her embarrassing events? What event has she ever featured in that seems embarrassing? There's so many things you can ask or a man. What really surprises you? What really makes you cry? So if you can find out to the depth of a man, what makes him cry, and you as an inspiring wife would always want to make him smile. So, but how will you be able to make him smile? You can only make him smile if you know what makes him sad. And when you avoid what makes him sad, you make the man smile. I don't know if you get that. So with a woman, if a woman tells you, I don't like this, and you keep doing it, so how do you want the relationship to work? So relationship questions are very, very important. And some people would say, oh, I don't know. I don't know, my husband will not like it. Then he's not truly 100% your husband. Because if it's your husband, you will know what he likes, because you must have asked him 100 times about what he doesn't like. That's how perfect relationship are built. You have to rely on that. Like, ask them what they don't like, and when you know what they don't like, then you should know also what they like. And now let's be just so careful about this like and not don't. And let me just say, maybe you ask them about don'ts and likes and don'ts. So now like, we have to be careful about it, because a man that is just going into relationship might just like so many stuff. For example, a young guy might just like rock music, hip hop, and all that. Wants to get to that realm of dancing and all that. Or a young girl might like hip hop, but as you're growing up, you see that your lights begin to change. So that's why the realm of relationship question is not only for beginners. Relationship question is what builds your home. Relationship question is what builds your home, and is like a continuation of what you have done during your courtship time. That's why they say marriage is an institution whereby you work it out every day. So marriage is an institution whereby you work it out every day, and relationship questions helps you to work it out well every day. So as you're going into the relationship, like the illustration I gave you, like a young person might like hip hop, and as he or she is growing up, he might begin to switch from hip hop to inspirational or rhythm and blues. So is that you see that what your husband used to like before, or what your boyfriend used to like, your husband, your boyfriend that later became your husband, do not like what he used to like. Is normal. It's normal, because the only thing that is constant in life is change, and our principles change, but we have to build it on solid rocks that never change. Because when we build our relationship on solid rock that never change, we'll be more superficial, we'll be more supernatural than the things of the world, than the things of the things that is of this world. So that is why. But if we're not able to build on those superficial, on those supernatural principles, we can also begin to work on the relationship questions. So the relationship questions are very, very important. So as a woman or as a man that is already in a relationship, you're already married, there's a need for you to map out time with your spouses and ask some relationship questions. Ask, sweetie, do you still like, maybe you already know his hobbies all this while, and you can see that some of his hobbies are really changing because of age and because of time. For instance, a man that really likes running and doing a lot of sports, when he's getting old, like 50, 55, he might still like sports, but he might not like that so much, or the strength might be kind of reduced, kind of. And if the strength is a bit reduced, maybe the sports level could be reduced. And at your quiet time, you cannot just ask your, like, sweetheart, my darling, do you still prefer this as your sport? Do you still prefer this sport as your hobby? What's your best now? Come on now. When we're married, maybe you're married like 25 or 35. When we're married like 5 years, you used to like this, but I see now you don't like it. And that will help you to learn the new realm of your husband. That will also help you to learn the new realm of your wife. Yes, so marriage is everyday thing. Marriage is everyday thing, because you can use the principles that you used 20 decades ago to work here in 21st, 22nd century. Come on now. Life is about change, and this change is something we build in ourselves. This change is something we work out in ourselves. Glory to God. Welcome all of you that has joined. Somebody said you need to have interest in each other. Perfect. Thank you, EA. Thank you, ma'am, for that contribution. EA says you need to have interest in each other. Good. When you have interest in each other, it will also help you to know where you want to go. And this interest will also help you to figure out so many things that has to do with your spouse that you don't know. And he or she will be revealing that without even knowing. And I want us to know that there's a time for revelation, and the time for revelation is a time of questioning. Some of you are waiting for the Spirit of God to strike like thunder and speak, thus says the Lord, in your life. Come on now. I mean, God can speak, but not necessarily thundering for your marriages to happen. You know, God is not interested in that. God just wants you to use your senses and build what you have been given certificate for. Remember, you have the marriage certificate. Yes, I do. Yeah, you have the marriage certificate, and your duty is to prove that certificate. And as you're doing that, the Lord can also help you when you ask for wisdom. The scripture says that the scripture says that is anyone that lack wisdom, let him ask. Ask. If you ask for wisdom, it shall be given unto you. So there's nothing so difficult. Let me hear your contribution. Put your contribution in the comment. Let me see what you what you feel is the right thing. EA says sometimes we just need to listen to each other carefully. We then hear what the changes are and why and flow with them. Correct. Correct. We have to listen to each other carefully. We have to know what the changes are and we have to flow with the changes. Because you can't tell me, oh, and you know, marriages now break because when the partners they feel like their husbands have changed or their wife have changed. Hey, you are not the person I married. Come on, she's the person you married. But life and situations around her has made her to change some of the things that she cherished so much. She has seen them like now as vanity. She doesn't need to cherish them more again. Like me, for example, I like to go swimming, and today is very warm. And my hobby is like, come, we're going swimming today. I said, oh, those days I like to go swimming, but come on now. There's something the Spirit of God is telling me to do now that is more than that. So it's more than what the Spirit of God is telling me to do now is more than going to get myself naked where everybody will be seeing my front and back. Come on now. There is time for a woman of God to go swimming, in a quiet places where you don't have crowd. So when I told my husband that, it's like, oh, what about me? I said, make your decision yourself. I just made my decision. And he's smart about it and he went on his own. So what is life? So he was not going to feel bad that, oh, my wife is not swimming with me today or thereabout. No, because he knows when I want to swim, he knows where I would like to swim. And if you want to swim, we can go there together and swim there together peacefully without crowd. And that's my new principle. So everybody has their own new principle. And if you ask, am I still the woman he married? Of course, I'm still the woman he married, but I have new principle concerning to my swimming activities and when and where I want to swim. So, so likewise, when and where I want to sauna. So which sauna I want to use and which what's it called? Which spa I want to use. So I don't want to go do spa because everybody's doing spa. So if I'm doing spa, I should do it in a convenient place that will be holy, that will be holy in court enough for me. So it doesn't mean that my life in that realm has changed. It means my orientation concerning my perception in that realm has changed. So I have to table out with my husband, and my husband was like, "Oh, good," and he was like, "Good. After all, your body is also for me and not for the public." So something like that. And at the end of the day, everybody's happy. So we should be able to ask questions. I'm glad he actually asked me a question. He asked like, "Why? Why don't you want to go swim with me?" For instance, I just gave that an example and I answered. So there should be a reason. So you're really right. There's a reason there's a reason, or that is important for us to listen to each other carefully. It's important for spouses to listen to each other carefully so that they will be able to find out what changes that has happened in their relationship, and they will be able to curb the changes and be a voice. And so I just want us to know that there is nothing so difficult in a relationship that two people cannot build, especially if these two people they are ready to build together, especially if these two people they are ready to tangle. So the idea is to be ready to tangle. When you're ready to tangle, everything goes easily like you want it because you're ready to possess it, and you're ready to be that you want to be. Okay.
Okay, so let us know that, because if we know that, life will be more beautiful, life will be more paramount, life will be more sweet, and relationship will be more glorious. Yes. So another point is that you should also uh, be ready to see your spouse's responses. I mean, your spouse, not really responses. Okay, responses is part of it. Should be able to see your spouse's continents when you share your change questions. What are their continents? Are they still going to that first point, like that the first person that that one that you are 16 years ago? Do they still want you to maintain that? If they still want you to maintain that, then it means that is where they actually find satisfaction. So if it's something you feel you cannot maintain, then you really need to go to God and pray about it. And apart from that, you can go for counseling together. Counseling is not only for aspiring couples. Counseling is also for married people. So you can go for counseling. You go to a counselor that you trust. You can share this idea with your counselor, and your counselor can now give you more ideas on how to do it. Maybe you don't want to do it like 100%. Maybe you can say, okay, fine, sweetheart, I don't really want to do this again, but because of you, I will just do it like 2 times or 3 times in a year, kind of. So you don't need to like deprive your sweetheart also because you have gotten a new ideology. You don't allow your ideology to deprive its own satisfaction, especially when your ideology does not go with him. But I encourage spouses to move with your husband. Like for me, for instance, I move with my husband everywhere I go. I move with him so he knows where I'm going. He knows what I want to do. And he tries not to be me. He tries not to be me, but he tries to be himself, enduring or participating in what I do. And that will help him to know that my level or my perception has really changed in that direction, unlike when we just met. So you have to be with together with your spouses. You have to be you have to trust your moves together, and you have to be open to yourselves together. By so doing, life will be more beautiful, life will be more, relationship will be more suitable. Yes, relationship will be more glorious and beautiful, and you can be whatever you want to be, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Okay, so that is the question. That is the question. So tell me, if you have other questions to share it. What are the questions you think your spouses should know? And when your questions and the answers to your question change, how do you uh, present that to your spouses? Join the line and help us to share blessings. So I'm talking about another point. Another point is that discovery might be a journey. So do not be in a hurry. If your partner doesn't want to share, but make sure he shares before you say I do. And this is one is very important for people that are not married yet. If you have some pressing questions, if you have pressing questions you want your spouses to share more light to, and they are not sharing more light to it, then you really don't need to pressurize them sharing more light to that. But you definitely want them to share more light to that before you say I do. It's very important, because if they don't answer your aspiring if they don't answer your intentional questions, your relationship might not be intentional, because you will just be like thinking about these questions all over the relationship time. So if you want to contribute, the line to contribute is on the screen. Welcome all of you that have joined. Welcome EA for UK. Welcome Hassanati from Germany. Thank you all of you that have shared God's blessings. Welcome to Hang Out with me. I'm your host, Apostle on the Move. Yes, it's Apostle of Love, Anastasia Fishner. And today we're celebrating the beautiful questions of relationship. relationship questions. What do you think is obtainable to ask your spouses before getting married? And what do you also think is obtainable to ask your spouses even after getting married? Because, like the scripture says, ask and it shall be given unto you. Marriages fail because people refuse to ask. If you don't ask, how do you get? You get what you ask. Come on now, act in the right way, and don't act. And don't, let me just chip in this. Don't go and ask your spouses when they're angry. Oh, is that late? No, you didn't do that. Don't ask your spouses questions that you think that are gonna shape your marriages. Don't ask them such questions when you are angry. Don't ask them such questions when you are angry or when they are angry. So ask questions that are obtainable when you people are on the relaxing mood, when you people are taking your time, when you people are having your nice time together. Ask questions like beautiful questions that can shape your relationship. Okay, now let's go ahead. So ask your spouses questions about his proud moment. His proud moment. Every man must be proud of himself in one way or the other, and every woman also is proud of herself one way or the other. So there's a need for us to share those things that really make us to be proud of ourselves. And as you share that together, that will give you the predicate where your husband is and also your wife. That will also give you the predicate where your spouses are. That will show you their level of satisfaction. When you say, "Oh, I'm so proud of myself," in what term? Those are the strength of your husband. Those are the strength of your woman, and those are the things that will strive that will thrive in the relationship. Those are the things that will build your children in the future. So when you share questions like, "What are you proud of?" and if the person shares a moment or an event that is not palatable to your principles, remember, you have your own principles written down, what you want in a man. And a man you're asking a question is sharing underwears. I beg your pardon. I mean, I just use underwear like an idiomatic expression. If he's sharing ideas that are not even palatable to your principles, that are not ideas that are even detrimental to your principles, then that will even show you that this man, his own idea is different, or is far is another direction from where I want to go. Or this woman, is her idea is far from where I want to go. So that will help you to shape your direction, and that will also help you to shape your future. Welcome. And EA says, yes, that's how you connect and bond. Exactly. That's how you connect and bond. So you don't know, oh yes, that's my this man is really reasoning the way I want. This lady is reasoning the way I want. So by so doing, you'll be able to know where you are going. And perfectly said, EA, that's how you connect and bond. Yeah. And he also said, talking how God brought you together, how so many things God solved. Yeah, you can talk about that, especially when you're married. You can talk about how you guys got together, how God solved your problems, how everything worked out, how you passed through challenges and scale through challenges. When you share this in your relationship, it helps you to know where you're coming from, and that will also push you to where you're going to. So I was talking to a man yesterday, and he told me that he was married for 25 years, thereabout. And recently he was having issue with the wife, and he was trying to let me know if I have any ideas. So I begin to ask, like, what do you think your wife wants now after 27 to 25 years, 27 years of relationship and 25 years of being married, and she want a divorce now? What does she want? The man was like, he doesn't know, maybe he's not doing something right. Then, and I that was actually when this idea came to do this program today on relationship questions. So I told him, have you asked her? He said, no, but she's just behaving strange recently. I said, there's a thing, there's something we called relationship question. When last did you had it together? He said, oh, they never had that. I said, okay, now it's not too late actually to start having your relationship questions. So I map out some questions, gave it to the man. I told him, get together with your wife, uh, uh, get her when she's relaxed and when you know she can listen to you, and begin to share this question to her. And guess what? When you're sharing the question, make sure you do the listening. Don't share the question with a biased mind or egocentric interest, or egocentric mind of only you know. Just do not be selfish about it. Just share the questions and give her room to share her ideas. And from her ideas, pin down what you think are the challenges. Women go through so many stuff they don't even want to share with their husband. So also husbands go through stuff they don't want to share with their wives. Like I just told you an instance from my relationship where my husband came to ask questions, and I told him what I wanted and all that. Although he respected my idea, but I know so many men will not do that. So many men might want to argue with you. If they don't respect your idea, it's also good, but you just need to find time in such a way that they will respect. And they will actually respect your idea if they know where you're going. If they know your principles, your what you already map out, what your purpose in life is. I mean, if your purpose is to play football, what are you doing with basketball? For real, for real. If you want to go do basketball, maybe for the meantime or to while away time, but you should concentrate on your football because that is your purpose. So that is it. That's what life is about. So um, if life is about relationship talks, then we have to talk it out. We have to talk it with our spouses. Yes. Uh, Kathy says hi. Hi, sister Chika. Welcome, man. Welcome to hang out with me. Today we're talking about relationship questions. What are the relationship questions you would like to ask? Or what are the relationship questions you feel spouses should ask themselves? I'm your host, Anastasia Fishner, a apostle of love on the move. For the love of God to share abroad, for the love of God to spread abroad, for the love of God to spread in every family, for the love of God to spread in every relationship. And the smallest unit of institution on this ethereum can actually expand to a glorious heaven of God right here on this ethereum. And it begins with your family. So let's deliberate more on the point. So talk about, ask questions about your proud moment in life. Ask your spouses to share their proud moment in life, and also the embarrassing moment in life. You know, the embarrassing moment. But be careful when people share the embarrassing moment in life. Don't use it against them. They only shared because they want you to know something about them. So anything a man shares in his or relation in her relation in his relationship is not supposed to be used to torment him, or anything a woman shares. But you should be smart. Like I tell you, like I always say, the fact that you're sharing doesn't mean you should share something that people will not hear. So anything that you shared to your spouses, be ready to take it if it's publicized. So so I think anything that is secret shouldn't be publicized. So what are you sharing? So it's also good to have your secrets. Not bad if you have your secret, it's okay, but not secret that detrimental to the relationship anyway. So that will make you to be a smart sharer. So also discover your job interest. Talk about your job interest. If the person is doing a job he doesn't like, at the moment you met him, you can ask him what kind of job interests you, and so that it will help you. Maybe because some people are in a job, they are in a profession that they don't really like the profession, but they are in the verge of in that what's it called, in that job, in that career, they met a spouse, they met somebody, and the person they met is already in love with them because of that job, but the person in question doing that job doesn't even like the job. And so it's like contrasting. But we can solve this problem by asking ourselves, what is your best interest? What is your best job interest? So when you ask your spouses, your husbands to be, your wives to be, when you ask them, what is your best interest? Or what is your best job interest? So from there, you will be able to get their real intent, their real hidden character, their real hidden intentions, their real hidden interest. And by then they will not tell you, oh, I'm doing this job right now. Actually, I studied this, I studied that. I wanted to be this. I would have loved to be that. So when they share these ideas to you, it helps you to know that, hey, I'm loving this guy now because he's a policeman, is a military man. I'm loving him now because, and the guy doesn't even want to be a military man for the rest of his life. So he's just trying to tell you, I just bumped into this job. I just took this profession for the meantime. In the future, I want to be a businessman. And maybe in the future, he resigns from his policing to be a businessman. And you're like, hey, my husband is no longer what he wants to be. Boy, he has already told you that he's just doing that job for the meantime. But the future, he wants to be a businessman. So we have to figure it out. We have to figure out what is going to happen to us in the future by being able to ask questions about our interests and our career, questions about our job interests, questions about our career. There's the need for us to ask. Or like a lady that is doing working as a receptionist, she doesn't really want to be working as a receptionist when her stomach has started protruding as a mother. Maybe she just wanted to do the job until she gets pregnant, and maybe after maternity time, she can change the job. And the man that is loving her just loved her because she's working as a receptionist. So there's a need for you to ask, this job that you're doing, is it your dream job, or do you think about doing something better in the future, or something nicer, or something even not in this direction at all? There's a need for us to share our career. That will help us to know where our future is going to be. That will help us to know where our stuff is gonna be. So that's how marriages are built, that's how relationships are built, that's how trust are built. And it's built by people of different orientations, people of different mentalities. They don't know themselves, but they just try to trust themselves, and they try to build family together, and God is helping them work it out. Yeah, so the line to call is on the screen. If you'd like to join us and share your contribution, if you'd like to contribute, now you can call +491 If you'd like to contribute to the program, why not? I'll open my line. If you can't get me online, you can write me. I would like to call. If you've been trying to call, because sometimes some people I wanted to call, but the line is jacked up or jammed up. If you feel the line is jammed up, just send me a mail on my WhatsApp and said I would like to call. Then I will call you directly and immediately before the time runs out. Okay, now. So we're talking about questions that we ask ourselves in a relationship, questions that we ask our husbands, questions that we ask our wives. And one of them is share moments in his life, or share moments of our life, why you like his or her hobbies. Share moments of our life. Ask questions about your hobbies. Ask questions about what you like to do and why. And try to help yourself fulfill your dreams. Ask questions about his dreams. Your dream job, we've talked about that, but every man should also have a vision. Now, how do you know your husband? You know your husband if you know his vision. How do you know your wife? You know your wife if you know her vision. Ask her what she want to achieve, and then we even help us to build vision. That will help us to build vision-oriented personalities, visionaries. So we see a country whereby men lack visions. We see communities whereby men lack vision. And one of the reasons way to build them up is even coming together in marriage, two people coming together, asking questions like, what are your visions? And when you know it, help the person to build it. Help your husband, help your wife, help your spouses to become what they want to be, to become. Ask them questions, and they answer the question. Don't bury the question, the answers. Fulfill the answers. It's not about you praying, receive it. You know, some people like prophesying, receive, receive. The way to receive is actually to build on the visions. So it's not about seeing vision. I see vision for you. After seeing vision, what have you done with the vision? My own idea is not to see vision for you because you have your eyes to see. My own idea is to make you convert your visions. So convert that your visions to realities. And you can do that in your marriages, in your relationships. So when you ask yourself questions about your dream, maybe you ask your wife question about her visions, and she's beginning to share her visions to you. Do not ridicule somebody's vision. Do not belittle somebody's vision. Try to shape them. Try to build them. And as you're building them, you are building yourself. That's why they say, show me a responsible man, and I will show you a responsible, hardworking woman also behind him. You know, because when the man shared that idea, there's a responsible woman at his back saying, go Shati, go darling, go sweetie, go sweet. There's a responsible woman out there behind him, uh, uh, clapping for him, giving him all the kudos that he needs. And that's how a man succeeds. Likewise, a woman. That's how a woman succeeds. People succeed when people are there encouraging them. For instance, I'm live today and I have so many people live on live with me. Glory be to God. Thank you, all of you that have joined. You know, it encourages us, it encourages people to like, you know, to do whatever they do. But I want you to know that even when people are not encouraging you, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep what you're doing. Later, at the end of the day, there's gonna be mouth-watering testimonies springing out from your life, every corner, because the Lord is ready to beautify your life. The Lord is always looking for somebody that is ready to do something, and God is gonna beautify your life. So when people are not clapping, do not give up. Just continue to do. So if you share your ideas also with your spouses, and they feel like, oh, what the heck, or they feel like, this is not, then keep working on that. Because there are some ideas also that I shared to my husband that he felt, oh, what is this again? But at the end of the day, the thing worked out, and he was like, hey, I'm so proud of you. You know, so there's a place of an idea, there's a place of a vision. When you get the vision, when you share it with your spouses, if they don't accept it, you are the one that got the vision. There's a place of the visioneer to stay solely on its vision until it becomes reality. There's also a place of the visioneer to share the vision and be assisted to bring it to reality. So if God knows you're capable of bringing it to your reality, your spouses might not say yes to it. And because your spouses does not say yes to it, doesn't mean that they don't support you or they are wicked. No, it means God knows that you're a very strong woman. God knows that you're a very strong man. You can do that without anybody's help. And people are just built like that. So when it comes to reality, still love your spouses, still encourage them, but just know that you are a superman or you are a superwoman. That is how relationships are built. So ask that questions about their visions, ask them questions also about their dreams, and discover your goals. When they give you questions, when you ask them questions about their visions, help them to discover their goals. Help them to set their goals. Set their goals. Set your goals, because how will you achieve the vision? You can only achieve the vision when you set your goals, set your priorities right. You sure might like to break some habits. What are they? You sure might like to break some habits. What are they? What are the habits that you want to break? Ask your spouses. What are the habits? Some people drink a lot and they actually want to break their habit of drinking, you know. They want to break the habit, but they don't know how to start. You know, when you get into a relationship, you know, you are a drug addict, you are an alcoholic, you know, and you get into a relationship, you actually want to help yourself and ask questions like, What are the habits you want to stop? Maybe your spouse might be an angel sent to help you stop that habit. So there's a need for us to share the habit that we want to stop. And if we feel as partners that we can stop that, then we should be able to help our partners. How do we help our partners? By we can help them by consulting our specialists or counselors that can help them. So like somebody that is alcoholic or drug addict, there are so many centers that caters for drug addictions and all that. And those places, those centers can also help you. They can help you achieve your dreams. They can help you uh, change your bad habits and be the right person that God actually created you to be. Amen. So that's all about, not really all about, but that's more to relationship questions. And how do you catch your phone? That's a beautiful question too. How do you catch your phone? Tell your spouses how you catch your phone, so that they will know where you want to be, where you want to catch your phone. They will know where you want to be, where you want to catch your phone. They will know where you want to be when you want to do things like that. But if you don't tell them what brings you happiness, they might not even be able to help you do that. Good morning, AGK Kingsley says good morning to everyone. Good morning, AGK. Mr. AGK, welcome, sir. So we're talking about relationship questions. In case you're just joining, we've been deliberating on relationship question, the appropriate questions when you need to ask your spouses and all that. So that's what we've been deliberating. What do you think are the appropriate questions that you need to ask your spouses? What are the questions? Share yours in the comment box, or you can call the line and share. Okay, so we've been talking about that. So ask also questions that has to do with your spouse being talked about. For instance, when people talk about your spouse, what did they say about the person? So you should ask questions about, like, how do your parents describe you? From there you would know if they're a good child, if they are good children, or if the person is a good child. From there you just ask, how do your parents describe you? How do your caretakers describe you? How do your peers describe you? But remember also that beauty, they say, depends on the eye of the beholder. So the way people describe others is not actually to be the final say of their life. People have spoken ill about other people, but the people they've spoken ill about still try to be good people in the society and still maintain goodness. So what I've been spoken about you is not really the most important thing. I think you have a caller. Let me see. Somebody's calling. The line is just jamming today. Let me see who is calling. Okay. Somebody's already on the line. Let me just give him time to talk. Let me just give this caller time to say something before we round up. So, welcome, caller, and tell us your name and where you're calling from. I can hear you. Please try to be audible, please.
Okay, I'm Ejike, so I'm calling from here, Germany.
Yeah, okay. This is our best caller. Mr. Ejike, welcome, sir. So, what can you say? Thank you for joining. Although you joined a bit late, I don't know if you've gotten the team today already. We've been deliberating about. So, you were asking what is the topic. The topic is about relationship question. What are the questions you are supposed to ask your spouse? Because questions determine what they know about you. So there are so many important questions you need to ask. So that's what we've been discussing today.
I mean, before getting into the marriage or after the marriage, you mean when you are dating somebody, you are about to get married to the person, or you're supposed to ask?
Yes, we talked about questions that we need to ask before getting into marriage, but we still discovered that even after getting into marriage, there is still time for periodic questions, because what the person liked 10 years ago might not still be what he or she likes. So anyway, there is a room. So we just Yes.
In this way. The question goes with the person you married.
Yes.
If you trust whom you marry, that is where you know the kind of question to ask. But if I'm not mistaken, any question you want to ask, you have to ask it outside the marriage when the marriage is not yet happened.
Exactly.
Once that marriage is up, you are going to live with that person. They say sin is believing. I might tell you that I am a good somebody. I don't have hot temper. You ask me a question. If I have hot temper, I will say no, I don't have it. Okay, now we are married. If I have hot temper, no angel need to tell you again. No soothsayer need to tell you again. You are seeing everything live and direct. Do you understand me?
Yes.
So most of the questions have to be outside that marriage. Maybe as a woman, have you done an abortion, which is common, which is common. If I'm not mistaken, 90% of our women have done it one way or the other.
Yes.
I don't need to blame them, calling them they are killers or murderers. You know what I mean? But some things may happen. So now you have to ask, okay, if you have you done the and see how is the evacuation done? Is it quack doctor or what?
Okay.
As a man, you can ask the man somehow, maybe like in a situation where they say no intimacy before marriage,
Yes.
You might ask the man if you are fit enough, have you have a kind of previous infection, about your past relationship, If the man tells you, okay, I can't perform well, you can take the man to an urologist and check if everything is okay. You understand me? You also can take that woman to a good gynecologist and check if everything is okay. Then you have to ask, what happened to your previous relationship? Maybe the guy, what happened? Maybe the guy just dumped you or you are the one that dumped the person. It might be a result of, what do you call it, genotype, blood group, SS and AA, all this kind of thing, So you have to know why this guy dumped her or why she dumped the guy. So these questions you have to ask it. You have to know if this woman you want to marry have been all these highway women, or the man have been a criminal, have been in prison. If it's the person in abroad like us and the ladies in Nigeria, you have to ask, have you married before here in Spain, in Germany, or in America, wherever you are? What is your immigration status? Because maybe somebody may be living in France. He'll be promising you marriage. I'm talking about because other people in Nigeria might come across this video, maybe 2 years, 1 year, or whatever. It's going to help them. But somebody might be in Italy or in Germany, and that man will be promising you marriage, but he's yet to secure his document. I'm not just trying to mock anybody, but that is the fact and reality.
Yes.
So now that man, in his heart, he wants to marry you. But because of that document, which most of us in diaspora know about, that it might take him 5 years, it might take him 2 years, it might take him 6 months, it might take him 10 years. That's why sometimes you see that, this guy is in Germany, but he disappointed me. I waited for him for 5 years. I waited for him for 10 years. Now, you as a woman, you have run out of age to get married. You know what I mean? And this have been causing problems in our society. What am I trying to say? These questions are vital but sometimes our women used to be carried away. They are not going to ask some important questions because you are sending them $100, 200 euro. They'll be carried away. They will ask you, do you have your document there? Maybe because once you have your document, that's when the woman can have hope of coming over, or even for visit. Or once you are still married to a white man or a white woman or somebody that have documents anyway, the marriage is still concerned. There's something they call bigamy, So you can't just go and marry somebody in Africa and bring that person. You know what I mean? So these are the questions somebody have to table. I have to ask you if you are your immigration status, your marital status. Do you have a baby there? Because there are women that vow never to marry a man that have children before. You have to tell, okay, I've gotten a baby before through during the time I was, trying to secure my document. Look at what happened. But if we didn't ask these questions, and that man come to Nigeria and marry you and pick you up here, when you come here and see some of those things, that's when you see a lot of problems are going on between some of our sisters that their husband brought here. They will start telling, why you didn't tell me they have 2 children before with Oyibo? You know what I mean? So all this kind of question, you need to ask for it. You also need to ask of your genotype. You also have to ask if you have criminal offense or problem before. These questions you have to ask about it. Then sometimes you can also ask a woman, a man, have you ever impregnated somebody? Because some women used to use it to test a man if that man is fit. There are also guys that use it to test a woman if you have taken him before. They know that if you have taken it before, you still have the ability to take him again. You understand me? It depends on the person you are dealing with. That's where you know the kind of question to table. Then once marriage is involved, You don't need to be, anyway, you can ask your couple partner who is the person that I call. But asking those questions depends on the trust, level of trust. That is why it's good to marry somebody you trust. And if you're in a relationship and you no longer trust your wife or your husband, for me, I can't stay with somebody I can't trust. If I don't trust you anymore, that relationship will collapse. You know, there's no point. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. What about talking about spouses that stay in the same country? They're all equal to the task. I mean, they are, maybe they are from the same nationality, or maybe different nationalities. It doesn't really matter, but they are equal to the task when it comes to everything. They have everything, to the right to stay in the country, and they are falling in love or getting to know themselves. What kind of questions do you think should each of them should ask themselves?
Let's say, okay, like, okay, you at least you will also ask that question. You know, you have to know whether that woman really want to marry, or you just want to marry because age is running out of her. You know, you also want to know if that man have somebody he have in mind in Nigeria. You know,
Yeah.
or wherever he comes. You have to know that. You have to know if the woman that, you know, you marry that woman, maybe she's from Edo and the other person is from Lagos. You know, or you know, there are women that like to build house in their father's compound. All what they are targeting is their father's side. They are not thinking of their husband area. You know, you have to ask such a thing. Also, you have to even know the money that person is. I think if you want to marry somebody, you have to know his salary, his or her salary, or what he's doing for a living. I'm not just trying to say that you have to know everything, because sometimes if you ask a man how much are you earning, or what is your business capacity or something like that, that man will think that you are so inquisitive or you are good. No, you want to know what you are going in. You know, that should be. So you have to ask those kind of questions. You have to ask you also, you know, sometimes our past we used to haunt us in the future. You have to ask that person about your relationship. You know, there are people that they are no longer into relationship full time, but they are still partial with that guy, just because they are not too sure if that guy is going to marry them. You know, they've just seen that guy once in blue moon, once in a while, and they now see you as somebody who is ready for marriage. You know, but they will still be going back to be sleeping with that person. So you have to be sure that that woman she's done with the other person. You have to ask all these things. You know, you also ask him. Sometimes ask the person what he, you know, because there are things you cannot avoid. You know, what do you like about a man? You know whether you are first option or you are just an alternative. You know, they say that when desirable is not available become desirable. So there are women that on normal notes, they will never even greet you, or you will never qualify to see their laps. By the virtue of circumstances, maybe they fall into single mother of 18. I'm not just trying to ridicule them, I'm just stating the fact. So now, because they are single mother, they are the kind of men they want to marry are no more coming for them. So you are not the one that is available. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So you have to know whether you are the first option or you are just a kind of an alternative. You know when a woman wants to, because once you are an alternative, that marriage will not work. As a woman, if you are an alternative, the man also, marriage of pity and circumstances is not going to work. You have to be in equilibrium. Two people have to be the same. So you have to ask that thing. And your instinct also, you know, your personal conviction have to play a role in that. But in most cases, it's always difficult to, like you are in Germany here, a woman have documents, you also have documents. So sometimes you go, you check the, what you call age. You understand? Maybe the woman is already 45 and you a guy of 35. You know that woman just wants you because she's running out of age. So these are the things. But once you're a man, maybe you are 40 and the lady is still 35, 30, that is good to go. I'm not saying that people shouldn't marry somebody that is older than them, but just the reality, you know. So all these questions, you have to ask it. You have to, one, what we normally ask, like you can ask.
I believe age is not actually a number. I think if both of them are committed in taking the relationship to, yeah.
Age is just a number, as they rightly say. But let's say if you are 50 years now as a woman and you get married to a guy of 40 years, what do you think? You know, remember a guy of 40 years, a guy that want to marry you that you are 5 or 10 years older than, he's a gold digger. He's married because of substance. Love is hardly to play love. Either because of documents, or you are rich, or your father is governor, you are from rich family. You understand me?
Yes.
Or a man that married you, a man that have documents here, and he married you as a second, as a what you call, as a single mother with 2 kids or something like that, either he's looking for document or it's always it's rare. It's difficult. Let me just put it in this way.
Yeah, but we cannot just generalize because there are some actually
I'm
situations
when,
that
when,
yeah.
When 70% is the these are, let me tell you, we are sisters and brothers. These things have misled so many women. They fall in victim before they know it, they realize their mistake. Maybe you are here as a young lady, you have a baby, 2 kids or whatever. Maybe you are 40 and a boy of 25 or 30 years is telling you how much he loves you in Nigeria or whatever. He's looking for something. If you're in Nigeria and you are selling biscuits or granite or pure water as a single mother, that guy will never listen to you. But if you fall victim, in other words, you go for people that know their value, people that value you, go for your age as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
So at the same time, there are other questions you have to ask somebody, like your family background. You know, there are families that believe in divorce. Their first daughter married, she came back with kids. The other one married, they came back with kids. All about 3 or 4 of them. Automatically, what happened may happen to you. Or how, that's why it's good for a mother to live a wonderful life, because they say like mother like daughter. You know, I'm not trying to put it on women only. It may happen to men always.
Yeah, but wait. So I want to you continue, but I just want to read some of the comment. Somebody said, EA said, very correct, sir. All these questions need to be asked. And she went ahead to say that everybody is unique. Some things can't be just generalized. And she also said she also said it's important to have your own standards and being faithful to yourself first. So it's good. So it's like they're agreeing what you're saying, but they said people, because of the uniqueness of people, what happens to Mr. A might not really happen to you, because everybody is unique.
That is how life is. But I'm just bringing it.
Yeah. So you're right on to yeah.
Then at the same time, that's why it's good for a woman to live a wonderful life, because the kind of life you live will surely affect your children somehow, mostly your daughters. Maybe you cheated on your husband that has been sent away. Do you understand me? Like it usually happen in Africa. Anybody that want to marry you and that person find out that your mother cheated and that's why your father sent her away, do you think that person might hinder that marriage or that relationship? Do you understand me?
Yes.
Or the father used to be a criminal. It's common in village. Maybe when you want to marry somebody, they tell you that the father used to, steal all this fowl goat in those days.
Yeah.
Don't go to that and marry. Or they have a family. There are families that have a kind of a mental challenge. In Africa, we tag it as spiritual, but now I am in medical field or whatever, just a medical health condition that can happen to anybody. But there are families actually in Africa that have that kind of thing. We have a lot of people, let me put it, mad people in their family, You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, mentally challenged people.
There are also families that maybe they assume that people die. You hardly see a man of 40 years there. People die. Young people die at early. We are from Africa.
They're just like, I think those things are just like things that have been happening in some certain places, not only in Africa, but there are some medications for that. But people think it's superstitious. They're like, people think it's superstitious, but this stuff are not really superstitions, because like if in a family and you discover that people are dying young there, they could just do like a medical orientation about this family to know why they are dying young. Maybe they have heart problems or liver problems, or maybe there's a disease running in their gene that needs to be corrected. But the problem with Africa is that so many people, they don't check all these things to know what the problem is, so they just tag the family. And I think it's a stigmatization on the family, or a stigmatization to say, oh, this family, they always die early, or this family, they are all divorced. I think it's like a stigmatization. I think people should be able to reason to other people in their unique ways. Yes.
There are sickness that are hereditary. Maybe if you go to hospital, they ask you, maybe is there anybody in your family have high BP? Is your mother have diabetes? Know what I mean? There are sickness that are hereditary, genetic, So now, But because of our wrong belief in Africa, we assume that those people are dying just because of what do you call it, cultural problem, spiritual problem, or whichever way, or maybe during those days of sickle cell. I know some those days in my school, some family, they just, two of them die, die. And those days, nobody knows what is sickle cell or something like that. We are assuming that they, what you call Obanje, all this mami water of it, water spirit or something like that, Then, such a thing, somebody can see that in a family, these people are dying because of it, they will not like to man. But these are where I blame some of our religious leaders, because these are the things they're supposed to be teaching people in the church. But they made it in a way that we believe that something is wrong. They'll be telling you that family that have a spirit of from time, all this and that. These are the problem of our religious leaders are causing to us. They refuse to teach people the reality. That you people should go to hospital, know what exactly is the problem. Thank God today that people are waking up like, if you want to get married, you check whether that person have sickle cell or something like that. Otherwise, if you people go ahead and marry, the children are going to die, and one of the pastors, one of the prophetess and prophets, one of the reverend fathers is going to tell them that because maybe you didn't sow seed, that is why the children are dying. They have to put it in a way that will favor them. These are some of the problems they brought, So whichever way, these patients are still vital. Once you know that, okay, this family, such a thing always happens, that's what will make you to take that woman you want to marry, or that man you want to marry, to a doctor, to do some examination, check if there's a kind of, let's say, terminal problem or something like that. So all these vital questions are very important. If there's, normal note, the people that their father used to steal, one out of them will always do the same thing. If your mother is into hustle, into a shower, you see one of them will also do those things, let me tell you the truth, or those women that sell beer parlor, they are selling beer parlor in Nigeria. They use their body to bring customers. They introduce their children. That's why sometimes their daughter end up marrying all those old men that drive trailers and 911 in Africa.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Come on now. Okay, Mr. Kingsley, I think you've really pointed so many points. Please just summarize your point now and round up before we round up for today's event.
Okay.
Today's program.
The issue that they say that how do I put it? If you want to build a house, you look for the good foundation and everything.
Yeah.
So there are questions you don't need to ask if you go through the normal process. You understand me?
Yes.
What happened to if you, during that time of marriage, before you get into that marriage, all the question you deem it fit, you have to ask it. And if you have a man that you are asking question and that man is running away from that question or avoiding that question, better cut that man off. There's something skipping. Okay. Or a woman you are asking question, and sometimes they tell you, forget my past is my past. No, your past have a role to play. If I want to marry, if you want to be in a relationship, if you want to do business also, your past matters. Because if people have been supplying goods to you and you sold them without paying them, automatically it's going to happen to me. If I have a ministry as a pastor and I brought you into my ministry, maybe the older ministry where you were before, you used to antagonize the pastor, or you connive with members and hurt the pastor, or you stole the money from the church. If I employ you as my co-minister, you are going to do that. You know what I mean? If I employ you after learning so many things about me, after learning some secret about me, you go to the internet and start castigating me, which you see that happening all over. You see this one pull out from a particular church and now started turning against the pastor. So that thing he did in the past, he will also do it for the second person that is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are some of the issues. So when you want to get into a relationship, into business, that's why in this country, for example, if you want to do so many things, they would like you to be, let's say, like Shufa or script. If you owe money from bank or something, so many things, your criminal record, police character report, they would like to know some of your past. Because your past will always reflect. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So it's likewise in a relationship. If you want to get into a relationship, those questions you want, I'm good at asking questions. And from asking people questions, you watch their lips, you watch their response, you look at their face. If they're happy answering you or they just get tired of answering questions, you can pull out. But the problem that some of these signals we avoid, we ignore them. That's why we jump in. Once we jump in, we're now trying a way out to come out. So before you go into marriage, make sure you ask all the questions you need. If you're already into that marriage, maybe you under pressure, just jump into the marriage. Of course, you have the right to ask your wife or your husband who is the person that calling or called. But it depends on the relationship. I mean, the kind of level of trust. You know whom you are living with. You know whether that man is conning or that woman is conning.
Conning. Yeah.
And any woman or any man that tells you as the wife, don't touch my phone, something is wrong. If you are
wow, that's another point of touching phone. I think that's gonna be a new discussion for another topic one day.
If you are my wife,
don't touch my phone.
Nobody is perfect, but if you are my wife, of course, if you can take my phone, you can answer my call. There's no point that your business partner, your company, somebody calls you and someone touch the phone and say, it's me, Mrs. Ifani, or something like that. And then I have to ask, is your husband around? You know, it's not a big deal that the wife picked call. You are not going to lose the contract because your wife picked the call. Unless when the woman is crazy, maybe the woman that will just pick the call. Who are you? Don't call my husband again. You are cheating on my husband, all this and that. You know the woman you have. You can pick your call. Hello, he's taking his shower. He's on the line. Okay, tell him that Mrs. Ijoma called, that she come back. The woman already trusted her husband. You know what I mean? When the husband say Mrs. Ijoma call, then return the call. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or if you are a woman, you are doing business. Maybe somebody want to buy TV from you or want to buy online this thing. Maybe as you are selling your books now, somebody want to buy your books or something, and the person call maybe the person call at odd time. Maybe from America, you already in bed with your husband. Maybe it's a man voice. Your husband, have to say, okay, pick your call. Or maybe your husband pick it and say, who's on the line? Say, I am Chijoke, or I'm John from US. Can I speak to Mrs. Anastasia? The husband may not know the man. The husband will give the phone and say, okay, she's already asleep. Maybe you can call tomorrow morning. Can I tell her something or whatever? That's all. Do you understand me? You already trusted the person, but when there's no trust, that's when all this suspicion started.
Exactly.
And that it's not be marriage, because suspicion brings jealousy, and jealousy brings killing and all this chaos we are having in relationship today.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ejike. You've talked and dropped so many principles and fundamentals. And EA just added to what she said before. EA said, yes, take time to check character and personalities and values and actions and their words. So we have to take time to check the actions of our partners, the characters of our partners, and all that. Thank you, Mr. Ejike, so much. I appreciate you so much because you are always calling to contribute. You are always being a blessing to this program. I really appreciate you, Mr. Ejike. Thank you so much, brother. I love you and I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for hammering those points. And you are always on point. And all our viewers all over the world are saying that you are always on point. Thank you so much, sir. Time will not allow me to even deliberate all that you have said, but I want everybody to go and share the message. If you're just joining, go and share the message on your platform so that you can watch it later and hear the contribution of everybody that has contributed. So EA is saying something. EA Osarimen says transparency must be kept during marriage. Transparency must also be kept during friendship, and honesty needs to continue. Yes, correct. Honesty needs to continue because honesty is the wine that you use to flourish your marriage. Yes, I repeat, honesty is the true wine where your marriages can be polished. Yes, you need to be honest to yourselves. You need to be honest to yourselves. You need to be honest to your spouses, and you need to be honest to your dealings, and you need to also be transparent to yourselves. You need to be transparent to the responses of your spouses. So when you are ready to ask all these questions, most especially Mr. Ejike mentioned one point that is very, very important is your blood group and your genotype is very important for you to know if biologically you people are going to be relate fine. I mean, which English words will I use? Drop it there in the comment. Thank you. You have to know biologically if you people are what's the English word? if you people are biologically able to make children and stuff like that. I mean, if your blood groups are not contrasting to one another, or kind of, so your blood group has to be the one that matches, so that you will produce healthy children and not sickle cell children. So that's very, very important questions to ask, especially if you're going into a relationship and you want to have children. It's very, very important to ask the blood group of your spouses and your partners. That's very important. Thank you, Mr. Ejike, for that for that a fundamental point. That's very important. Thank you. And yes, that's the English word. Thank you. He said compatible. Exactly. God bless you, Mr. Ejike. You know, German. German is always dominating my English. So you have to check your blood group of your spouse to know if they're medically compatible to each other. So to two of you, if they are medically compatible, if they're compatible, you can give birth to healthy children, because we don't want our society to be flooded with children that are suffering. You know, the ones that are suffering is enough. So let us not create more suffering to our children. Rather, we should be able to create children that we will love and bring them up in the way of the Lord. Thank you so much, Mr. Ejike, for your contribution. And I thank you, all of you. Thank you, EA or Saramin. I call her my super evangelist. Thank you, ma, for your contribution today. Thank you in his presence. Thank you, you. Those that I cannot say their names. I know you joined, but I'm just trying to read out those people that commented something. So put always your comment in the board so that I would know that you are watching. Some of you are watching on YouTube. Thank you, my YouTube subscribers. Thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, why not go and hit the subscription button, and also click on the notification icon so that whenever I'm live, YouTube or Facebook will notify you. Go to my Facebook page, Anastasia Fishner Official, at Anastasia Fishner Official. That's my Facebook page. Go there and follow me on the page so that anytime I'm live, you will know that I'm live, because that's where I usually do my live videos. Facebook doesn't allow me to do my live videos on the normal Facebook account, so I have to use my my official site. So my official site is at Anastasia Fishner Official. That's my Facebook official site. Thank you so much. EA says, more grace, Apostle of Love. Thank you so much, ma. And I will see you next week on Hang Out With Me. Until then, I want you to know you are loved. God loves you, and you can build a lasting marriage if you follow the principles that we've been deliberating on. Mr. Ejike says, asking your spouse question is a good thing and a kind of protecting them. Period. Correct. Asking your spouse's question is a good thing and is a beautiful way of trying to protect them. And because when you ask questions, you share ideas. When ideas shared is half solved. So you can love yourself forever. You can stay together forever if you can ask questions. So relationship question is the timely principles that every couple should share all the time. You know, relationship questions is a timely principles. It's like a daily recipe or a recipe for building your lasting marriages. Questions. What kind of questions are you asking? Ask intelligent question. Ejike says, you are great. You are doing great. You are doing great work. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Ejike. Thank you so much for also being a blessing every week. We so celebrate you and we thank God for your life. And we pray that as many that have joined, your marriages will shine forth also in the mighty name of Jesus. Your marriages will be a mirror that people will look and cherish God and bless God for your life. So therefore, present God and love in your marriages. Do not allow the enemies to snatch the lovely gift that you have got. Nurture your gift, guide your gift, cover your gifts, portray your gift, and decorate your gift in such a way that the enemies will not even come near. And I declare that the love of God will continue to reign in your lives and your families. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. I'm Anastasia Fishner, the apostle of love. On this show, hang out with me every Saturday. So I'm going to see you next Saturday, same time, same program. Remember, it's hang out with me, and it's a time to deliberate on relationship, life, and marriage. And I repeat, your marriage can be for eternity if you follow the principles that we're deliberating here, because God has given it to us, and we're so inspired to present love to you in another realm. Blessings and bye-bye. Thank you for sharing. Blessings.